At the very end of the middle, there's a scene that makes the whole show stop feeling like just a sitcom. Sean Donahue is heading to the airport to fly to Ghana. He sees a snow globe. Just a cheap, ordinary snow globe. And right then, it hits him that he still loves Sue Heck. He turns around, finds the Hecks, and tells her everything straight. Then we get a flash forward and we see that they're married. Beautiful? Yeah. But here's what I can't stop thinking about. Sean first showed up in season 1. In the block party episode, just the nice boy next door, Axel's friend, and the son of the perfect Donahue family. And he stayed there for all 9 seasons. For 9 years, he lived at the edge of the frame while Sue fell for other guys, got hurt by other guys, and made plans with other guys. Then the finale revealed that her future husband had been living right across the fence the whole time. So that brings up the obvious question. Did he really wait for her for 9 years? And if he did, how did all of us miss it? The answer is, it's more complicated than that, and that only makes it more interesting. Because when you rebuild Sue and Sean's whole story from beginning to end, you find something that is both very romantic and honestly kind of cruel. For years, the show kept slipping us clues, and then did everything it could to make sure we didn't notice them. And one scene in season 8 completely changes how the whole finale feels. We'll get to that in a minute because honestly, it's the most painful part of this entire story. You're watching Axel Gang, and today we're breaking down the quietest love story in the middle. Yeah, the one half the audience only noticed when the show finally gave us a wedding. Let's start with a pattern you can't unsee once you notice it. Sean has this one habit. He shows up exactly when Sue has a big night. Not on some random Tuesday, not at a family dinner. He appears during the moments that matter most to her. Season 5, The Walk. Sue has prom, and Sean comes back from Notre Dame just for her. He changes his plans, misses a test, gives up his time, and says he would do anything for Susie Q. Sounds like a confession, right? Nope. Because right after that, he adds that she's like family to him. And the whole scene falls right back into friendship. Sue turns him down anyway. She already has several dates for the prom because she's too nice to tell anyone no. Classic Sue. Okay, it happens. Nice neighbor, good manners, his mom probably asked him, moving on. But 1 year later in season 6, while you were sleeping, he comes back again. Again from college, again so Sue won't be left without a prom night. And again, she's already going with someone else. Once is kindness, twice is a habit. Now jump to season 8, X's and O's. Sean shows up without warning to ask Sue to the Chancellor's Ball. He remembers that old thing she used to say. He remembers how badly she wanted to go. He even wonders out loud why he thought of her on that exact day. And you already guessed it, Sue already has a date again. A guy named Tyler. And this is where the show does something that's easy to miss. At the ball, Sue talks about Sean so much that Tyler finally tells her, look, this isn't about me. It's about your feelings for him. So the first person to say out loud that something was going on between Sue and Sean was some random guy she brought to a dance. Not Frankie, not Axel, not the audience. Tyler. On their own, every one of these scenes feels like Sean is just a nice guy. Put them together. And now you have a guy who keeps coming back to the same girl for years, always arrives one step too late, and leaves with nothing every single time. And now we get to that scene, the most painful one in the whole show. Season 8, the confirmation. Sean comes to see Sue. He isn't there for no reason, he's there to confess his feelings. He isn't there for no reason, he's there to confess his feelings. He brought her a gift, a snow globe labeled for Susie Q. Right before this, he says that if you have feelings for someone, you need to tell them. So he worked up the nerve. He's ready. He's standing at the door. Axel opens it. And by that point, Axel is sure Sean likes Lexi. So trying to help, he says something like, she's taken. That's it. Conversation over. Sean turns around, leaves, and throws the snow globe away. Sue has no idea any of this happened. She doesn't even know someone came to see her. A guy showed up ready to confess his feelings, got turned away at the door because of a misunderstanding, and she never found out. And the dumbest part is that the scene doesn't play like a tragedy. It plays like a normal sitcom joke. Someone gets it wrong, the door shuts, funny. But once you know the ending, that scene stops being funny at all, because that same snow globe comes back later. Sue picks it out of the trash without knowing it was meant for her. Then in season 9, that exact snow globe becomes part of their story again. And in the finale, the snow globe is the thing that makes Sean realize, on his way to the airport, that he loves her. The misunderstanding with Axel only comes out at the very end, so the show basically hid a love confession in a trash can for more than a year. And the whole emotional payoff of the finale is really about a gift finally reaching the person it was meant for. That honestly hit me hard once I put the whole chain together, but now let's be honest, because the title of this video sounds great and I don't want to lie to you. Did Sean wait 9 years? If we strip away the pretty version, no, not literally. And the show never actually says he did. Look. Their first romantic story isn't even about Sean's feelings. Season 2, the diaper incident. Sue is the one crushing on Sean. She and her friend read his normal, harmless comments like they're signs from the universe. She writes him a poem, then has an emotional breakup with him. Sean barely even notices her. He doesn't realize she dumped him because he had no idea they were dating. The show isn't setting up some huge love story at that point. It's making fun of how Sue can build an entire romance inside her own head. And it goes even further. In season 8, Sean suddenly has real sparks with Lexi Axel's future girlfriend, by the way. And everyone is shocked by it, including Sue. So the show itself makes one thing clear. This guy did not spend 9 years sitting like some loyal knight, staring at the house next door. Then, season 9 gives us the moment that kills that myth for good. Sean says he went on a date. A real, normal date. And right after that, he adds that he still would have rather gone on a date with Sue. You see what that means, right? It proves his feelings, and at the same time, it destroys the pretty idea that he never looked at anyone but her. So if someone tells you, Sean loved Sue from the first episode, that's a fan stretch. Even during his final confession, he keeps it vague. Maybe it started way back then, when they were kids he doesn't know. The show leaves the date unclear on purpose. But here's the thing. The honest version of the story might be even better than the pretty one. Because the honest version goes like this. For 9 years, the show kept this guy in Sue's orbit. And Sean, however long his feelings were really there, kept choosing her again and again for years. He came back. He remembered the little things. He tried. He missed his chance. And he stayed quiet. And that brings us to why nobody saw it. Here's the uncomfortable truth. We didn't miss anything. The show trained us not to look. From season 1, the show frames Sean almost completely through Axel. He's Axel's friend. He's Nancy and Ron's son. He's part of the perfect Donahue family, the family that exists to make Frankie feel like she's failing. Sean almost never gets his own point of view. We don't live inside his head. We see him like furniture inside other people's stories. Meanwhile, Sue has big, loud romances, and the camera always follows them. Matt is the first guy who chooses her in public and then breaks her heart. Darren is a whole different story. A real relationship, a real couple, and he even proposes to her. She says no, not because she doesn't love him, but because he is ready to settle down, and she isn't. Then Logan, who leaves to become a priest. Then Jeremy, who turns out to be way too controlling. Then Tyler. Every one of those guys arrives like an event, an invitation, a rescued night, a new campus, a big romantic move. Sean is just always there. And that's the trap. When someone has been around for too long, you stop seeing them as an option. He feels too familiar, too safe, too much like part of the background. Sue doesn't see him for the same reason we don't. And when you really think about it, Sean is different from all her other boyfriends in one big way. He's the only one who sticks around for the real Sue, not just an idea of her. Matt chooses her at the peak of one big shining moment, and then leaves for another girl. Darren loves her, but he wants a ready-made adult life with her right away. Jeremy looks at her like a project he needs to reshape around his own ideas. But Sean has seen every one of her failures since season 1. He saw her fail to make team after team. He saw all of her everyday Orson chaos, and he never once tried to save her from it or turn her into someone else. He just accepts that this is who she is. Not because he's perfect, but because he's the only one who has known her long enough to love the person, not the picture. I'm not going to claim the writers planned all of this from the start. It looks more like they fully chose Sean closer to the final seasons, and there's no way to prove otherwise from the show. But once they made that choice, all the old stuff suddenly fit into one complete picture looking back. There's also a fan theory that Nancy Donahue understood everything from the start and slowly kept bringing them together through little everyday excuses. I like that idea. It feels very Nancy. But honestly, the show never confirms it. So let it stay what it is, a sweet theory. Now we get to season 9, because once the show finally decided to bring them together, it put them through the cruelest obstacle course in sitcom history. It starts out almost harmless. Sue is in college, her housing situation is a disaster, and she's fighting with a professor. And who comes in to fix it? That's right. Sean shows up right on time, fixes everything, and Sue gets mad instead of thanking him. She hates that she enjoyed being the girl who got rescued. That isn't who she is. And then Sean says something that made something click in my head. He reminds her that a long time ago she pulled him out of a drainage ditch with a jump rope. So this isn't him saving her. They save each other. They always have. Do you get what just happened? A normal little scene about an apartment suddenly explains their whole relationship. These two share a history that goes back almost their entire lives, and in that history, they have always been someone special to each other. They just never use the right word for it. Then we get the setup. Sue and Sean have dinner alone. The talk naturally starts going exactly where it needs to go. Sean is basically about to ask her out, and Sue, being Sue, gets nervous and blurts out, "What if we set up dates for each other?" Meaning they should find other people for each other to date. The moment is dead, and she kills it herself. Later, they both separately admit to other people that they would rather date each other. At the end, Sean decides to become her date himself. But before he gets there, Aiden rings the doorbell, just a normal food delivery guy. Sue thinks he's the guy Sean picked for her, and she leaves with him. By the time the real Sean shows up at the door, it's already too late. I don't know how the writers came up with this without crying. Then Christmas comes and they finally kiss. A real, mutual, undeniable kiss. You'd think that's it, the finish line. But no. In the New Year's episode, Sue admits to Frankie that she has liked Sean for a long time. And at the end of that same episode, Sean tells Axel straight up that he loves Sue. He has for a long time, and he isn't giving up. Notice this. They tell everyone except each other. Then the show turns the pain all the way up. Sean announces that he's leaving for Ghana. Sue lies there depressed and says the Christmas kiss was perfect, that she was waiting for a magical summer and it never happened. He stops by to grab his bag before he leaves, and once again, they don't have a real conversation. The guy is flying to the other side of the world, and the most important words still haven't been said. Only then do we get the airport, the snow globe, the U-turn, the confession, and her confession back. Then, the wedding flash forward. And even here, the show stays honest. Between the confession and the wedding, they still break up and get back together. There's no straight road to the altar. It's messy and stop-start, just like real people. Put it all together, and here's what you get. Sue and Sean's biggest enemy was never another guy or another girl. Their enemy was always not now. Prom, not now. She already has dates. The confession, not now. Axel shuts the door. The date, not now. She mistakes the delivery guy for the date you set up for her. The kiss, perfect, but what comes next is still not now because he's leaving for Ghana. For 9 years, the show kept them in the same orbit and moved the right moment to later every single time. And that's why the title about waiting 9 years is both an exaggeration and the truth. As a fact, it's an exaggeration, and I've shown you that honestly. But as a feeling, it's completely true. Because when a viewer finishes the finale and looks back, this is what they see. The guy was there the whole way, from season 1 to the final shot. The show just kept dressing him up as Axel's friend for so long that when he became Sue's husband, half the audience lost their minds, and that the other half said, well, of course, who else could it be? The middle was never really about fireworks. It's about how love in real life can look like a person who just keeps showing up. No big speeches, just the words, "You're like family," hiding something completely different underneath, and a snow globe that gets thrown in the trash first, then ends up becoming the reason for a wedding. And if this video makes you rewatch Sean's scenes, and you can never see him as just the polite boy next door again, then AXL Gang has ruined your favorite sitcom one more time. As always, with love.